Perfect. Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Sabbath to all of us. You're welcome on board for this particular session on personal finance literacy. All of us know that personal finance is a reality for every person, whether you're a student, whether you're somebody who is working. It's very important that you understand how personal finance works so that you understand its importance because it's crucial to getting to know what financial literacy is, and it can help you set up a path for success, your family, even for you as a future leader. Let us please stay muted so that we do not interrupt the trainer during the session. Our trainer for the day is Daro Patrick. He has expertise in finance, working for both profit and non-profit organizations over the years, and he has put together very essential content that he can explain to all of us on how we can deal with the subject of personal finance. So for you to save your bandwidth, I would request you to turn off your video. But if you have enough data, you can keep your video on, but ensure your microphones are off. If you have questions, you can put them in the chat box. And at some point, the trainer may ask maybe us to say something, and if that time comes, you can raise your hand. There's a feature that you can use for raising your hand on Zoom, so you can raise your hand and we should be able to point you out. The best of the class, and please, this is your session, ask questions if anything is not clear. Over to you, Daro Patrick.
Thank you very much, Peter, Thomas, for organizing this. And then thank you, members, for joining in. This is a very nice lesson that you're going to enjoy. I believe from here, you're not going to be the same. My name is Daro Patrick. I am an accountant by profession. However, there are a lot of things that I've been doing. I am the CEO of T4T and also a company called Sanem Enterprises, which deals also in the other items. I am an MC. In case you also have a function, you can also invite me. And above all, I'm also an evangelist. If you have a spiritual problem as well, we can be in person to handle that. But back to our topic, please stay back. We're going to have a lot of interaction. As my brother Bida has said, if there is another thing that you are not clear with, please you ask. This is a room for you. You ask for any clarification. We shall be in person to guide where necessary. Without wasting time, Bida, can we go straight to our slides?
Yes, please, you can share. Or do you want me to share from my ends? You can share from your ends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a minute. Yes, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can.
Yes, we can see. We can see, yes.
Very good, very good. So that is our logo for T4T. T4T stands for today for tomorrow. In other words, if you mess up with your today, which means your tomorrow will be a disaster. But if you handle today very well, tomorrow will be a honeymoon for you. So that is why we decided to say our company should be called T4T, which stands for today for tomorrow. And our slogan is, we go the extra mile. We have objective for this training. I believe we have gone through your expectation for this training, and we have come up with a few. Number one is to understand financial literacy, what it is and what does it encompasses. Understand how to effectively carry out financial planning. Be equipped how to cultivate and maintain a saving culture, which is the key. Be equipped on the importance of investing and the different kind of investment vehicles. Here we go. A journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step. I believe we understand that in every struggle, you must start from somewhere. Some of us want to start businesses, but you say, I don't have capital, I don't have something to start with. But here we are saying a journey of 1,000 miles begin with a single step. We have also this, a very nice vehicle, and there's a statement there which says, success is my destiny. In your day-to-day life, as you go outside your room, you must put in yourself that you must succeed by all means. If you have that in your mind, you shall always be a very successful person. Okay. Am I too fast? Can someone confirm, please?
Oh, you are going very well, Patrick.
I'm going very well.
It's okay.
Okay. Thank you.
It is
Thank
very
you.
nice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Patrick. Slideshow.
Yeah. That's what I
So-
wanted to say. Just to put it in slideshow so that everyone can be seeing the content.
So here we are. This one is an icebreaker. For example, have you computed your current network?
Hello?
You see? Have you
Hello.
been paying yourself? Hello?
Yes, sir. Help us put it in slideshow so we can be able to see well. Thank you.
You're not seeing the slide, so?
No,
you're not
he's saying
saying
that.
There's this one here.
Which one?
Put in slideshow down.
It is
Near the
clear what you
negative
do.
when
You
you're
tap.
zooming.
You tap only. Tap the slide. It will appear on your screen.
Yeah, the slideshow. Yeah. Go to slideshow and then
You're not seeing?
No, Patrick,
Yes.
near the negative, when in the zoom bar, you click that thing that looks down there,
on
down there.
On my
Down
side?
there, yeah, over the battery.
Over the battery, yeah. Over the battery.
The one
over
over
the
the battery. No, the
No,
pot,
don't
the
click
pot.
that one. The pot.
In
Yes,
the red,
yes.
in the red.
Yeah, click it.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is what you want, right?
exactly.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah,
So
like this, so nice.
Here is like this. Okay, yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. So we have this statement. This is an icebreaker. Like Please, can you mute? Yes. I proceed. Okay, are we there?
Please proceed. Kindly proceed. We are following you.
Yeah, we are there.
Okay,
We are
okay,
getting you well.
okay, good. Now you see we have something here. This is an icebreaker. We have some statements here. Have you computed your current net worth? For example, today, if somebody asks you, my friend, what is your net worth? Can it be important to explain to any lay person? Definitely, if you are not a serious person, you cannot be important to explain or tell someone your net worth. You see, and then have you been paying yourself first, especially for those who are doing some small business or some business? You're doing some business somewhere. Have you paid yourself, or you are just working like that? You are not putting something aside for yourself. It is common, especially with the starters. You see that you have a business, you are the one running around, you don't calculate, you are moving around, you don't even calculate the time you've spent in terms of monetary terms. I was interacting the other day with a banana seller. You know, this lady wakes up at 5, she comes to custom, pick the bananas from her supplier, go back to Munuki, and keep them. In the evening hours, she come and sell. I've asked her, have you been paying yourself all these days? She said, my brother, no. I told her it's important for her to be keeping something aside as a salary or as an incentive. We have people who are doing businesses in their own premises. Ideally, if you are doing a business in your own premise, you are supposed to calculate or put something in form of rent. Then you keep it aside. You are supposed to get something for yourself, being the driver of the business. That becomes your salary. At the end of the month, if you are not able to put something aside, then you know that you are not doing well in your business or in your day-to-day life. So the question here is, have you been paying yourself first? If no, right from here, if you are doing something, immediately at the end of the month, it should be important to compute and pay yourself. Thirdly, can it be important to handle an emergency of 200 to 500 USD or even less? Okay, the student, they can be excused, but still, if you're a student, it can be important to hustle around and make sure that in case of any emergency, you can be important to save, but be important to handle. But sometimes we are caught with a situation where even if we get defeated with airtime, see, airtime defeats us, airtime of 500 or even 1,000, we get defeated. So I believe at the end of this training, it will be important to understand some of these basic that you're supposed to do in your life, and they see that you succeed financially. The most important thing is life.
Yes, Patrick?
Yes.
Yeah, so I have put these questions in a poll. We can just launch and then we see the answers from the participants.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, so we are going to launch a poll, and please, it will appear on the screen, so you can just tell us whether you've been able to compute, whether you have computed your current net worth, whether you've been paying yourself first, and whether you can handle an emergency of $200 to $500. In the meantime, Patrick, you can continue with your explanation.
It's okay. So I was saying you must be able to have some emergency funds put aside to handle immediate need that arises. Yes, I can see. Yes, yes.
Thirty seconds left. We're at 78%. Please, you should be seeing the questions on your screen and do answer. Let us make it 80%. Then we will end the poll. Yeah, we're at 76. We're at 78. 7 seconds left. 78. Oh, yeah, our time is up. You can share the results.
You see, so you see, in the first question, have you computed your current net worth? You can see the results. 30% said yes. Congratulations if you're able to do that. However, 73% said no. From here, it should be important to compute. Question number 2, have you been paying yourself first? 37% said yes, and then 63, no. The last question, can you handle an emergence of 2 to 500 US dollars? None. So you can see where we are. You can see where we are, which means when there's an emergency which hits you right now, you will be forced to increase your liability by going to borrow, which is not a good practice. From today onwards, or beginning from next month, put yourself a deadline that at least by the end of this period of time, as it be possible to have this amount of money that can be possible to handle some little emergency that may arise now. Next. What comes to your mind when you hear the word financial literacy? What comes to your mind when you hear the word financial literacy? We have decided to put a simple definition. Financial literacy is the ability to understand and effectively use various financial skills, including personal financial management, budgeting, and investing. You can as well say possessing the skills and the knowledge on financial matters to confidently take effective action that best fulfills an individual needs, family, and the global community at large. Those are some of the few definitions of the word financial literacy. It should be important to possess skills and knowledge of financial matters to confidently take effective action that best fulfill an individual personal needs, family, and the global community goals. Financial management. There are very many definitions of financial management and very many ways of defining financial management. However, the most precise is this one. Financial management is the process of wisely managing your personal finances so that you can achieve your goals and dreams. So, if you don't have goals in life, then you know that you have a big problem. You must have dreams, and dreams without action are just dreams. When you plan to do something, take action immediately and they start it. But sometimes you ask somebody, my friend, what do you intend to do in the next 5 years? Somebody cannot be impossible to tell you a clear goals or anything that he or she wants, not even in the next 5 years, but in the next 6 months. What are your dreams? What do you want to achieve in the next 6 months? Or better still, in the next 1 month, what do you want to achieve? So financial management is the process of wisely managing your personal finances. If you have some at your hand, you manage it wisely so that you can achieve what you intend to do. Again, some financial literacy, we can say it's a set of skills and knowledge, attitude, and behaviors that allows individuals to make informed and effective decisions regarding money matters. What are the main purpose? Stock goals to achieve individual financial well-being by changing from one current behavior to the other. If your current behavior, you see that your current behavior is not good, you are spending too much money unnecessarily, then you have to change. If your current behavior is that one which is making you to save more money, then thumbs up and continue with it. So the main purpose is to achieve individual financial well-being by changing from our current behavior to the desired behavior. We have this, for example, your current behavior could be, is like you live on a day-to-day basis, hand to mouth. You see, this is an example, especially our brothers who are doing border borders. You get money today. You say, after all, tomorrow I'm getting another one. You eat everything. You clear. You cannot keep something aside. That is a very, 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 very dangerous habit. If your current behavior is you live on a day-to-day basis, that is say hand to mouth, then you have to change the desired behavior. Make a spending plan, budget, and use it to manage finance. If you are not doing any budget, you are spending on impulse basis. You see something that passes by, you are buying, then know that your behavior is not good in financial terms. We have savings not linked to savings goals. For example, you want to go for further studies, you set money aside, you say, I'm going to start my school maybe next year. You start saving, you know that you are planning this money to further your studies. But from nowhere, you decide to divert these savings, which means the initial saving goal is already distorted or disrupted. You might have saved the money for buying maybe a piece of land. You are saving so that you can buy a piece of land. But from somewhere, somebody comes with a very nice, fancy vehicle and say, my friend, I'm giving you this vehicle cheaply. And you buy it. You decided to misfire your goals of saving for buying land. You buy a car, which is good, but otherwise it's a liability because car is not an asset, by the way, in another sense. If the car you have is not bringing for you money, or is not making you facilitate you to raise more money, then you know that it's a liability, it is taking something from you. So the desired behavior should be, has saving plan been cleared? Has saving plans, has savings plans with your clear goals? Has saving plan with your clear goals? Borrows for emergency. The third one is borrows for emergencies. Like in our icebreaker, I was saying you have like $200 to $500 to cater for emergency. Nobody has that. So if your current behavior is to borrow money to cater for emergencies, that one is not good. So the desired results or desired behavior should be maintain an emergency saving fund. You can have an emergency saving. It can be in a circle, or you can put it in a piggy bank, but it should be very far away from you. Because if the money you have saved is closer to you, you can easily be tempted to touch it. See, so money that has been saved must be very far away from you. It should not be possible to access it anytime you want it. Cannot choose the right investment. You see, sometimes we are what? Sometimes we are confused. You see, sometimes we are confused. You can't choose the right investment. You say, I want to start this kind of business. After 3 days, you change. After a few days, again, you change, which means you are not stable. If somebody asks you, my dear, what are your plans? What do you want to invest in? Somebody tell you, I don't know. You don't know? You must know. See? So your current behavior or your current behavior should be that one, which should be that, which should remove you out of debt. Or it should be that type of behavior which can make you to make a rightful decision. Yes, sometimes it may not be possible to make a rightful decision. If you are unable to make a rightful decision, look around, get a coach. Get a coach or get a mentor. Even me, I have mentors around. I'm glad that one of my mentors or two of my mentors are also attending this this masterclass. See, so it must be important to have mentors who can be important to direct you when it comes to wise decision, especially regarding investments. There are some investment at the surface, they may look very good, but when you go deeper, you realize that they are not as they seem. So it should be important to have wise decision when it comes to investment. So the desired result is, or the desired behavior is, choose the right investment. Yes. So why is it important to be financially literate? Have you asked yourself such a question? Why is it important to be financially literate? It is very important so that one can effectively manage money. M-O-N-E-Y, money. You see? So that can be important to effectively manage your money. Understand credit and the debt management. You see? You should have money to meet emergency, like what I said earlier on. You should have money to meet emergencies and for other important things. You will be able to convince others to lend you money. You see, this one is very important. When you're financially literate, For example, your communication alone and your behaviors alone can be important to, can help you to come out of pressure when you need money. Because you can easily ask your colleagues for money when you are down, and they can easily lend you because they know you understand what finance is all about, and even they know your financial what behavior. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there are many people who have lent out money and up to now they're unable to recover it. Why? Because they did not take time to understand the type of person they're giving the money to. Oh, there are even people who just borrow. There is money to be borrowed, the person say, let me borrow. You see? Just like that. So financial literacy is important because will be important to understand credit and the debt management. Like for example, when you are financially literate, it should be important to understand even the percentages, the type of loan you can ask you for. When you are going to ask for credit or money somewhere, it should not just be an impulse. For example, you want to you go and ask money for marriage. Yes, marriage is good, but how will you pay it back? Definitely, that is a very wrong choice. See, so when you're wise, when you understand finance, and when you're financially literate, it should be important to have a wise decision when it comes to money matters. Even if when you are financially literate, you can develop confidence and the attitude that enable one to be self-reliant. Because it will be important to understand that this money of mine should be important to do for me this at the end of this period of time. Or this money can be important to help me to bail me out when need arises. This is why financial literacy becomes important. Financial literacy enables one to discuss money and the financial issues constructively. You see, when you understand finances, you can be important to discuss and even advise people on how to handle their money wisely when you're financially what? Literate yourself. But when you're not financially literate, you will not be important to help or even advise people accordingly. Finally, make good financial choices about saving, spending, and managing debts. See? Just for example, today is a weekend. You find somebody will say, today, my presence must be felt. You see, somebody has $100 or $200, he goes around and he says, today my presence must be felt. You go, you drink, until even sometimes you don't know you're going, the road for going to your home. You see, that one is not being financially wise. You save, you eat. It is like you have bought a hen to lay for you eggs, and you're eating the eggs. You are eating the eggs and you expect results. So when you're financially literate, you become very wise in decision making. I believe most of you have heard of Stingy Men Association or Stingy Women Association. See, I'm not saying you should be very stingy, but you should always be mindful of how you spend your money. That one can be possible when you have knowledge or skills on financial matters. When you're financially literate, you can make the right decision regarding investment. You can make a right decision regarding investment, and even you can be in person to advise colleagues in your community to do something reasonable with money. So that one is only possible when you're financially literate. Next, a financial plan. You have financial plan. And by the way, the most important thing with the financial literacy, it cuts across whether you have done finances, whether you have not. Financial plan goes across the board. It's for everybody, because whether you like it or not, in one way or the other, you will need what? Planning. Every day in a society, you hear people are making what? Plans. Their budgets, their funerals, their birthdays. There are a lot of activities taking place. So, financial plans is for everybody. So, what is a financial plan? Financial plan is a comprehensive picture and a roadmap of your current finances, your financial goals, and any strategies you have set to achieve these goals. We have a saying here, it's not about choices, it's about action. You see? A comprehensive picture, so roadmap of your current finances, your financial goals, and any strategies you have set to achieve those goals. Currently, you may be down completely, you don't have any money or any coin in your pocket. But by the way, let me tell you something. The best time to make a financial plan is when you are broke. You know why? When you're broke, you will always have the best plans ever. Write this down. The best time to make or write down your financial plans is when you are broke, when you are totally down. That is when you're in your right senses, by the way. The moment you get money, some people forget. So the best way of financial plan is to write them down when you don't have money at the hand. That is the time when you can reason very, very, very well. So when you write them down, as soon as you get those, as soon as you get the finances, you start executing them. You start executing them. And always you be focused. Keep on reviewing. We shall look at those one later on. Keep on reviewing and keep on looking back. This was what I planned before. I've got this money. Should I be in person to use it now or not? Should I be in person to implement or not? So the best time to write down your financial plan is when you don't have money to hand. That is the time when you reason very, very clearly. And by the way, that's also the time when people become believers. When you are broke, oh no, you become religious. Every time, God help me, God be with me. If I get this money, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And at that moment, you write those points down. Write those points down. As soon as you get the money, execute it. Execute your plans. So it's not about choices, but it's about taking action. If you don't take action, of course, nothing can happen. We have basic concepts. We have basic concepts in financial planning. There are around 5 basic concepts of financial planning. We have number one, budgeting. That's one of the basic concepts of financial planning. Every day you have to budget your movement even. You know that they are coming from home, going to this place, you must have that money. You are going to spend this, you are going to meet colleagues, you are going to do this, you are going to do a lot of things. So one of the basic concepts in financial planning is budgeting. And a budgeting is defined as the process of creating a plan to spend your money, balancing your expenses with your income. This spending plan is called budget. From the budget, you can be person to indicate where you're getting your money from. What are the sources? The sources must be very clear and defined. If the sources are not very clear, don't put it. So the sources of your income must be very, very clear, and the one that you know, you are sure you can be in person to get it. So budgeting is very important in our day-to-day life. Must budget. Number two, very, very important, savings. Savings. That is key. If you get money today, you eat everything, you don't save, then it's a problem. Savings can be defined as an income not spent or deferred consumption by putting money aside in, for example, a deposit account, a pension account, or an investment fund, or a cash. Putting money aside. Like I said earlier on, money that is saved must be kept away from you. It should be out of reach. Because anytime the money is near you, you can easily get it. Then you are away with it. Sometimes there are pressures which come. It should be important to save. The best way is just deposit to your account or keep it somewhere where you feel you cannot be in person to reach. Investing. You must have an investment plan. Investing is the act of distributing resources into something to generate income or gains, profits. That's to say, putting your money to work. If you're just keeping that money in the account and it's not doing for you anything, then you know that it's not good. Because when the money is not being invested, every time you are losing. You are losing it slowly. But the money which you have invested should be important to generate for you some money. Have you heard of the saying which goes, use money to make money? Use money to make money. Which means you must be important to invest your money in something that generates for you money. Number 4 is debt management. Debt management is a way of getting your debt under control through financial planning and budgeting. If you have planned yourself very well, you realize that you cannot be tempted to borrow money, because debt increases your liability, and the debt is dangerous in the sense that if you are not careful, it will keep on accumulating. Because the person who has lent you that money wants what? Wants a profit in return. You are using my money, you have used my money for this purpose, you must pay me back with something. And sometimes the money you have borrowed, you borrow it not to do any other business, but just consuming it. So one of the basic concepts in financial planning is debt management. Number 5, financial accountability. Responsibility for the way money is used. Manage, good stewardship. It must be important to account. If somebody, like sometimes you ask somebody will ask him, yesterday, last month I received my salary, but I don't know what my money went. Today is the 16th. Today is 15, sorry. Today we're the 15th of October. I'm sure our members who are actively working have already exhausted or have finished the money they received the last month. Currently, others are already in debt, which means the salary is coming and is already going to work. Clear somebody's debt. See? Which means one is not accountable, one is not financially wise. So basic concept in financial planning is financial accountability. So it's important to know where your money has gone, what purpose, and even what. We have key steps to draw up a basic financial plan. We have there. Number one is assess your financial situation. It will be important to weigh your financial situation. Number two, create a budget. Set your financial goals. Know your tolerance risk. You see? Work out and implement a basic financial plan. Number six, regularly review and adjust your financial plan. Now, here we are. See? Number one, like what I was saying, assess your what? Your financial situation. With a clear understanding of your current financial situation, you can decide where you should start from and what you need to achieve your financial goal. See? With a clear understanding of your current financial situation, you can decide where you should start from and what you need to achieve your financial goals. It is not a crime to have a big plan, but it is always important to weigh yourself first and they start with what you have. Where you are. You can start small and grow. Knowing your net worth is important to assessing your financial situation. It should be important to know your net worth. So that it can be important to access your situation. If you don't know your net worth, it becomes very, very, very difficult. You see? Number three, is start by making a list of all your assets as well as your liabilities. Net worth is practically calculated as your assets minus your liabilities. Assets, these are things which can easily bring you something when you need money. But liabilities, these are things that take money out from you. So make the list of all those things which will bring you money. By making all those things, then make a list of your liabilities. Those things which take money out from you. So when you're able to do that, you minus. When you're able to get the difference between your assets and your liabilities, it can be important to get your net worth. Net worth in terms of finances. Your brain alone is your net worth because you can use it to make money. You can use it to achieve something big. Step 2, create a budget. Prioritize your needs and the wants and look for any unnecessary expenses you can cut to save money. See? Prioritize your needs and the ones for any unnecessary expenses you can cut to save money. Sometimes we buy certain things that we cannot use. It is common with women. Sometimes they can buy clothes which they will never even wear. And for us men, sometimes we like buying shoes. You see somebody, these hawkers moving around with these shoes, you say, let me buy. But at the end of the day, you cannot even use it. See? Prioritize your needs. Something which is not, you think you don't need it. Don't buy, don't buy. What for? Keep that money aside and use it for other things. That will help you in the near future. Refrain from overspending, especially impulse buying. It's not a crime to ask for discount, by the way, in the market. Sometimes you go to the market, or you go somewhere, you're buying something, you see that you are in a suit, you cannot negotiate. No, you have to negotiate, friend. And sometimes somewhere people are charged according to the way they dress, according to the way they look. When you look money, you are charged highly. I believe most of you must have experienced such. When you look a bit, the person will say, no, let me. So refrain from overspending. Do not spend unnecessarily. Okay. And sometimes somebody is willing to offer you a lift. That is already a saving, but you prefer wait and you say, it's okay, I still want to hang around. I will take a taxi or a border. See? That friend of yours will have taken you or lifted you up to your place, but you prefer to remain back. It's coming to Christmas season. A lot of products are coming in. There are a lot of new things coming in town. Juices, clothes, and many designer things. At the end of the day, somebody is buying it on impulse. You know that they are not what? You're not going to use it, but you are buying it. Why should you buy something that you're not going to use? That is it. Spending money unwisely or an impulse buying. Then there's also something we call bandwagon. Bandwagon is a spending in the sense that you have seen your friend has bought an iPhone, you also want to buy an iPhone. See? That is unnecessary competition. What does it bring for you? Nothing. See? Person has iPhone 11 or iPhone 15, iPhone what? You have your taken on. You're still communicating. You are still communicating. You are attending everything. It has the same function. See? So bandwagon, buying something because somebody has bought. It's not good. Budget, do the thing according to what you can afford. We have cases where somebody sent the children to Kampala, and the person is unable because the parent has taken his own children to Kampala. He or she also wants to take his own children to Kampala. Yet he knows that he cannot be possible to maintain. At the end of the day, the child is a graduate, whether is he from the best school, you as from the other school, the end result is what? All of the children are graduating. If they are studying the same course, whether he graduated from the international school or you are from a community school, at the end of the day, all have what? Graduated. Why do you put yourself in pressure when you sing, when you know very well that can be important to handle at a lower price? So refrain from overspending, refrain from impulse buying, refrain from bandwagon. Stop copying. When I was coming from home, before I reached here, I saw over 10 youths wearing clothes. You see, everybody, which means they're copying. Number 3, before you decide to borrow money, make sure you can afford new debt repayment on top of your current expenses or commitment. Before you decide to borrow, make sure you can afford new debt repayment on top of your current expenses or commitment. This one is common where somebody, for example, I borrow from Bida because somebody called James is ready to give me money. That is not a good method. So reframe before you decide to borrow money, make sure you can afford. Make sure you can afford. So can you see that? That's the money. See. Yet, for example, from January up to December, you can decide to make it quarterly or after every 6 months. If you feel you can be important to make from January up to June, it's fine. So here we have income sources. If you're employed, you write the first line is the net salary, business income, additional incentives for others. You see, you put them in an Excel form from January and make it pattern from January to March. From January to April, then from May to August, then from September to December. Or you can decide to make it for the whole year, but you keep on what? You keep on reviewing. You can have total of your income from all those different categories. Be net salary, being business income, it's not in, then you get the total. Here, the second line is now expenses categories. See? You can have savings and investments, You can have debts, repayment. Then there are mandatory bills and expenses. There are mandatory bills that you can avoid. See, like feeding. There's no way you can. Every time there are issues coming. All there are contributions that come. And in the community, you must contribute by all means. So you can insert the figures. Manually, or you can insert in the in your Excel sheet. So here you can be important to difference to get, like for example, your income versus your expenses. Are your income able to meet your expenses? Are you able to have excess, or what you are getting is a deficit? So if you are getting a deficit or you are unable to meet all your obligations, then you know that you are not doing well financially. So step 3. Set your financial goals. Set your financial ensure numerical target. Numerical targets in a sense
Patrick, you are muted. We cannot hear you. You are muted. Your mic is off, Patrick.
I think it's okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. I think, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, we
good.
can.
Yes, now
Loud and clear now.
Very good. So
you're
we have
struggling.
like I was saying, you break your goals into periodic targets. Let's say annually, quarterly, or semi-annually. When you come to this, determine your short, medium, and the long-term goals. When you look here, we realize that we have different financial goals. We have short terms and the long-term goals.
You're not seeing your screen, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, your screen is not there.
Very sure.
Okay, let me. Just a minute.
Yes, please.
Can you see me now?
Yeah, it's okay now.
Yes,
Can you see? Can you see the screen? The screen is back, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's okay. We are
I
in
see
the
the
step
screen.
4. Yes.
Very clear.
Okay.
Determine your short, medium, and long-term goals.
Yes, that's where we are. Yeah.
Okay.
You see, so we have determine your medium and the long-term goals. So here we have you might be having this. What are your financial goals? Number one, your financial goal could be setting money aside for some emergency funds. You want to buy a car? See? You want to further your education? Or even buy a home? Even marriage? This could be some of your what? Of your short-term goals. So all these fall here under your financial what? Under your financial goal. Yeah, long-term financial goal and the short-term financial goals. So if in the next few years I want to get married, or if you are married, you want now to go and do what? Wedding, because you want to go and surprise your wife, or even if I don't surprise your husband by saying, honey, we're going to organize a mega wedding in Freedom Hall. Or even at your cultural center. And this one, very key, furthering what? Education. Because I believe you have understood the word better education, less labor. When you have good papers, things have become very sweet because you get a very big position and if you make more money. So this should be, if this is one of your goals, must be important to quantify it. And you know that when I'm going to further my education, I should be important to have this amount of what? This amount of money. If you want to buy a home, how much is it going to cost you? How much is it going to cost you? So this should be in your what? In your budget. Even buying a car. If your goal is to buy a car, it should be important to know what type of car even you want to buy. You're buying the car for business, you're buying the car for family, you're buying the car just to run your errands. See? So these are some of the short-term goals. Then the long-term ones. Set up an education fund for my children. Right now, your child could be in the nursery or P1. When this child of yours reaches university, will it be important to pay his tuition fees? You see, this will be one of your what? One of your long-term goals. The other one, even you start my own business, or you start your own business. It is very, very important. You see? This one, if it is in one of your long-term plans, it's very important to know that if I'm going to start a business, it's very important to cost me this money. So set something aside to cater for those. Paying off mortgage. Here we don't have, but I think soon in the near future it will be important to in South Sudan it's not common. They even build a nest for retirement. This one is very, very, very important, building a nest for retirement. The moment you sign a contract, especially for those who are still looking for a job, or those who are actively working, have you planned for your retirement? Or if they say today your contract is ending, can you survive? We have seen situations where somebody's contract ends today, in the next 2 weeks, or in the next 1 month, the person is behaving as if he has never been working in his life. You see? That's because the person has not set money, has not even planned for his retirement. So you must build a nest or a retirement plan. At the moment we are active, you are still a youth, you are doing very well. By the time will come, your energy cannot even take you anymore somewhere. It's important to eat your money that you have saved or you have invested now. In the next 20 years, some of us will either be 50 plus, others will be 60. You see? Others will be somewhere. Will it be important to survive? Currently, many people lost their jobs due to the corona pandemic and even to the war in Ukraine. Now they are at home. Somebody has been working for the last 10 years. Somebody comes home. It's totally broken. So if you are currently active and they are working, you make sure you have something to set aside for your retirement, and in case your work comes to a standstill, it will be impossible to survive. There are some basics things in life we cannot avoid, whether you're actively working or not. You need them. Accommodation, whether you're working or not, you need accommodation. You need to sleep somewhere. Meals or food, you must eat, whether you're working or not. When you're no longer actively working, how will you meet all those? Will it be important to take care of mama when your work ends? Will it be important to take care of those people in the village? What about their siblings who are still relying on you? Will it be important to take care of them when your job ends? Retirement plan, very, very important. The moment you sign a contract today, you have been employed, know that at a certain moment you will leave that job. When you leave that job, how are you going to survive? Finally, and this one I have to take it also very seriously. Provide enough funds for my family after my death. At a certain moment, everybody will have to work. We have to go because we are not staying here permanently. We'll have to die. So when you die, will your family have enough money to survive? Will you be in person? Will your children be in person to stay? Or will your children be in person to pick something from when you are gone? Will they be in person to continue with the life when you are no more? Your long-term plans must include those things. Some people, when they die, even buying money, buying coffin for their funeral become for keeping them become a bit difficult. To ask yourself, this person has been working. Where did the money go? It's because the person has not been working, has not been planning well. So in your long-term, medium, in your medium and the long-term goals, it should be important to have some of these things in place. Most important thing is there must at least be money at the hand when you need them or when you need it. Timelines. Certain financial goals example. Will it be important to pay off $2,000 worth credit debt within 6 months? Open up a credit card reward. This one is not common here. Will it be important to save at least $100 on groceries, the restaurants, the next 3 months? Same thing that we don't use them. Or sometimes we feel shy to negotiate for certain things. It is not a crime to ask for discounts. It's not a crime. Or even sometimes, for example, when we go to a restaurant or somewhere, instead of taking all your money, you say, it's okay, that one is okay. It's good for you, it's good, it's good, it's good. You can keep it. Cumulatively, you know how much that one can be? Cumulatively, that one can make a big sum. When you save a penny today, after 6 months or after a certain period of time, that small savings can accumulate and it makes something big. Because they say bit by bit makes what? A bundle. For example, you know that there are places where they are selling things in a wholesale. Instead of going to buy those things from a wholesale, you go to expensive places. You're going to buy those things in an expensive one, an expensive place. Yet you could buy this thing somewhere and you save some money. So these are some of the things, or some of the decisions that we have to take seriously. Be wise. Be on the look. Where you can buy things cheaply, as long as it serves the same purpose, you buy instead of going to those expensive places. We come to the midterm financial goals. For example, you have borrowed a loan or you have a debt. It depends. You are borrowing from a circle. If the others put in your mind that at least in the next 2.5 years, I should be zero. I should be still having zero debts. I should have zero debts. Or should you have nobody to owe? All these are examples of midterm goals. One of your goals of midterm one of the goals will be having $1,000 emergency fund. Like in our point earlier on when we were starting in Icebreaker, nobody has $200 to $500 amount which is kept for emergencies. So your goals should be having at least 1,000 USD in your emergency fund. Raise credit score by 40%. This one we don't have it here. It exists. At least some countries they give some points, but here, due to our infrastructures, we still don't have some of those things. Then long-term financial goals. And it be important to save. And it be important to save 20% down payment for a house. Yes, in Cuba, there are some houses where they are put on sale, but here our policies are not yet good. Here the person wants to pay, they go. But in Uganda, even in Kenya, you can pay your money on what? On installment basis. And it be important to save money for paying that, and it should have timeline. Say in the next 3 years, I should have cleared. Another long term is eliminate 100,000 in a student loan. Here in South Sudan, we still don't have it. Those one at least in the developed countries. Even this one, you see, have 50,000 in a saving account. If you actively engage in certain activities, it is possible. We can be possible to save that in 4 years. When you divide these 50,000, first of all, by the number of years, you see, 50,000 divided by 4. It should be impossible to give you something. Then you can divide that by what? By month. If you have an active business or you're doing something, it should be important to have that what? That's savings. Which means in a year, it's 12,500.
Looks like we have lost Patrick, probably due to network glitches, but I trust he will bounce back. We're left with about 27 minutes to end the session for today. In the meantime, I will be dropping the attendance form in the chat box, so please do register your attendance for the day so that we know you have been in this session. And also, if you have questions, you can start dropping the questions in the chat box so that once the trainer comes, he will be able to address them one after the other. Yeah, so here is register your attendance here.
Sorry guys,
So
my network went off.
Yeah, I was telling them. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I have dropped the attendance so you can fill it in the meantime as the trainer puts together his materials. Thank you.
Are you seeing my screen or it has gone?
You will need to reshare it.
Okay. I think we are back. So are you getting me? Nancy, can you confirm?
We are now getting you, sir.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I was saying this 50,000 saving account is impossible. If we divide that 50,000, was about 50,000 divided by 4, you can have like, that is 12,000 per month. So 12,000 per year. So you divide that by 12. You see, it is like 1,000, 50,000 divided by 4, 12,500 per year divided by 12. That's like 1,041 per year per month, which at our current state in Juba may not be easy, but at least if you can keep something, at least even if it is 200, at least 200. If worst come to the worst, 50 every month, put aside. Time is 12. That one can give you at least 600. Then time is 4. This is small. You cannot do anything when there is an emergency. So we have what? We're going to the thing after this. We'll have to go for questions. The 4th step is know your risk tolerance. Risk tolerance can be classified in 5 categories. Which one best describes you? Which one best describes you? Conservative. Conservative, which means you are not willing to take up risk and see loss in an investment, and may rather forego potential gains. You see? Where do you belong? Then moderately cautious, may be willing to accept a limited amount of risk to improve their long-term investment return, but they still try to avoid large short-term fluctuations. Then number 3, you have balance, weighing the risk and the return. Balanced investors recognize that taking on a measured amount of risk will improve the probability of achieving their long-term financial goals. That's why they say, do not put your eggs in what? In one basket, which means it's very important to weigh your what? Weigh your risk, and then you act accordingly. Number 4, moderately aggressive. By taking on a greater investment risk, moderately aggressive investors expect to see their investment portfolio outperform the market. They do not mind accepting a bit of more risk or less or loss than the market bears. This one is now for people who are in serious businesses. Then finally, being aggressive, ready to take on higher level of risk in order to substantially outperform. Like currently in Juba, I'm seeing people are doing very mostly the same type of business. Especially our girls, I'm selling clothes, I'm selling shoes. Will it be important to outcompete your people or competitors? Or you're taking a greater risk by adding another method of maybe advertisement apart from the social media. You see? So risk analysis and knowing your risk tolerance is very, 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 very important. Very important to know that when I take this kind of risk, as a very important to mitigate. Where you see that the risk cannot be impossible to come out of it, just leave it. You just leave it and you do that one that you feel you can be possible to manage. They say business is a risk, but where you feel the risk is too much, you just avoid it completely. I think from here, let me take some questions. Later, if there's some question in the chat box before we proceed, because we are left with
okay.
20 minutes. So I think within this period, there can be possible to take some questions. Then maybe we proceed later.
Okay, thank you so much, Patrick, for the nice presentation and also for being able to touch base on very, very important points, including how people can maximize their savings. Very important insights, and thank you so much for that. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please, you can raise your hand, and maybe if you're in a noisy place and you would not like to talk, you can just put your question in the chat box. And for those ones who are filling the attendance, in case your name is not in the attendance, just leave your name in the chat box and I should be able to include your name. We have a hand from Isaac Wako. Isaac Wako, you can ask your question.
Yes, hope you are hearing me well. You can pardon me, my voice is not all that nice. I have flu. Hello?
Can hear you, Isaac. You can proceed with your question.
Okay. My first question is, can we call receivable or money that you loan out and that can be given, you're sure it will be given back to you and part of saving? This is one. Two, I have a business, yeah, and among all the other things, I'm finding it difficult, like to save part of the money that I'm getting from my business and the small one that I'm getting from the job I'm doing as my salary. The only thing that I'm able to manage now is getting out from debt. I don't have any debt. I've tried this one. I budget myself according to the income that I get. What best advice will you give me, like to save enough money out of the two? Because I'm finding it difficult to save from the two sources of income that I'm getting. I'm only able to manage getting out of debt. So what best advice can you give me? Thank you.
Perfect. Patrick, I hope you have picked the question. Our next person is Samuel Lemi. I see your hand is up. You can ask your question.
Yes, thank you very much for the lecture, and the question I have is one, how can a person that earns as low as $100, maybe $100 per month, be able to develop the behavior of successful saving? This is one. And the second question, which is also the last question but not the least, is what business or what type of business can you recommend that will ensure that a person can become successful in it in maybe less than a year? Thank you very much for the chance.
Perfect. Thank you, Lemmy, for the questions. I trust Patrick has picked the questions. And we have a hand from Doro. Doro, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Bida. And thank you, Patrick, for the nice presentation. For some of us, it might be the first time to attend this masterclass session. I really appreciate. I've actually categorized myself where I am currently. However, with this, I believe I'm going to make some changes in my financial management. I just have this one question to ask based on the income. Yeah, I'm one of those ones who always spend my income before it actually gets into my hand. So I'm trying to know, is it something logical? Just need a piece of advice. And secondly, about, I think if Patrick can make it more like simpler, the issue of impulse buying. I did not understand what does it mean. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much, Doro, for your important questions. Though I laughed where you said you spend your money before it even reaches you. And I have some questions from the chat box. Someone is saying, how should one manage businesses to meet their financial plans? And another question is, what kind of business is good to start with the small amount of between 50,000 to 100,000 South Sudanese pounds? Yeah, very important questions over there. Yes, please, if you have a question, you can raise your hand, and then we still have room for a few more questions before Patrick can start answering. So if you have a question, please ask. Please ask. Another question again from the chat box is saying, what can I do if my liabilities are more than my assets? What can I do if my liabilities are more than my assets? And Leju is saying, how can he calculate his personal net worth? Okay, how can he calculate his personal net worth? That will be answered, how you can calculate your personal net worth. It's very important that you know your personal net worth. And we have Scovia. Scovia, you can ask your question. And maybe before Scovia, you come in, Patrick, there's another question in the chat box that is, what profitable business can I start with 500,000 SSP? Yes, Scovia, you're welcome.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity. It's my first time attending this training, and I am happy for that. I've learned, and I believe I'll try to maybe correct out some ways I have not been doing well. I'm one of the kind who always like buying things anyhowly, like spending anyhowly. The moment I go to the market, I see something good for myself, just be like, I have to get that thing, which is really a bad habit. So my question is, how can you advise someone who starts a business today, and then maybe after some time, like 2-3 months, the business is not doing well, and the person closes that business? how can you advise that person? Is it really a good character? Like, is it a good habit to do that? Or it's like at least someone should try and move on a little bit. So how can you advise?
Okay, thank you for your question. So Scovia is asking, what sort of advice can you give someone who opens a business? For the past 3 months, the business does not do well and the person decides to shut down the business. And she's also asking, I think that's her only question. And in the chat box, someone is asking that he works with one of the biggest SACCOs in Uganda, but how can he help his organization to improve its performance in terms of saving and share capital? And Kenyi John is asking, are cars, motorbikes, phones, children, relatives, and wives examples of liabilities to be included in calculating net worth? Interesting. Wow, interesting question. And Dennis, you're welcome.
Thank you, Bida. Thank you to the presenter, Patrick. It's really a great presentation, and I have two things. I'm one person who will really come up with a good plan on how to execute a business idea. But the challenge I always have is really managing the money itself, in and out. As a leader, how do you go around to identify the best financial person who will be able to join the team and accommodate all the financial issues, then move on? How do you get that person? Because most of the individuals that we have, everyone is either looking at the salary. I remember at the early stage of the entrepreneurship idea, the flow of money in is very, very little. How do you move around to get this person, or how do you convince an individual with that good financial background to join the team? Two, at what stage should a business pay the owner? Thank you, Bida.
I love the questions. I love all the questions today. They are very, I think I look forward to seeing what the trainer will say. And another person is asking, South Sudan needs to learn to pay debts to encourage businesses to move forward. Yeah, and I see your hand is again up. Would you like to say something? You're welcome.
No, sorry.
Yeka, this is Yeka, right?
Yeah. Yes, my hand is up since.
Yes, you're welcome, Yeka.
Okay. I have just two things to say. One, I just want to give the comment on this training. This is a very important training to our lives. We realize in South Sudan we spend money, even we move with the 200, 300 in the pocket, and not knowing that we are extravagant, misusing it. But today, I really say it, we have learned a lot of things, and we appreciate the facilitator. The second thing that I want to say is I have a question, which is in the basis of the cultural, which will always affect our businesses and affect us to progress. So always we tend to give the plan of the death to the relative. How can we really organize this? As the facilitator says, even before you retire, you need to have savings that when you die, people can be able to ask that how much is there so that for buying the coffin. And for us, we are not having this. When you do it, you say you are a wizard or you are given another name. How can we really make this attitude to our people to understand that is part of you to even plan for your death? Thank you.
Okay, and lastly, Tolok, you're welcome.
Good afternoon, colleagues. I have to apologize because my background is noisy. Bear with me. I have to raise this question or this concern. Are you guys hearing me?
Yes, please.
Yes, we are.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for organizing this training. It has been really to the point, and I have learned a lot. I work and I do business at the same time. I'm transitioning from salary to have my own investments, to be able to encourage South Sudanese to to get employed. Currently, I have about 15 people that I have employed. I'm doing blocks, and I would want to encourage everybody in this forum to continue moving on with your businesses and ensuring that you don't fall off the track. My concern is this. It's me actually who put that question or that comment that South Sudanese needs to learn to pay debts. That is one of the most dangerous diseases that we as South Sudanese are going through. People come, they always want to borrow. They always want to borrow. You give them, and they don't come back and pay you. Oh, an example is I sell blocks. They come, they say, give me blocks. I pay you after 1 month, after 2 months, after 1 week. They don't come back and pay. That is killing the business. How can we move out, or how can we encourage or educate South Sudanese to be able to make sure that they come back and pay the debts that they have, to encourage entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs or upcoming entrepreneurs to move forward and have their businesses flourish? Back to you. Thank you very much, guys.
Okay, thank you so much. We are happy to learn that you have employed over over 15 people whom you are paying, and I trust that as time passes by, you are able to employ tens of South Sudanese. So very important question: how can we make sure that people are able to pay? I remember recently I made a Facebook post about why people sometimes you want your money back, and people will want you to offer explanations as to why you want your money. And Wari Moses, you are the last one. You can ask your question. Oh, have you put your question in the chat box?
I had put, but I can also emphasize it. Thank you,
Okay,
everyone. My concern is about branding your business. Should you be the face of your business or not? Some people, whenever they are seen elsewhere, it directly speaks about their business. And then they are constantly at their business premises, and then it's them who move the business. Without them, the business cannot move. That's what I mean by being the face of the business. It's known this is their venture, and people like it because of the fact that it is their venture. And once they are not there, I think the business will be terribly affected. Now, there is where a business has a different face apart from the owner. The employees move the business. They fully represent the business. They're a face of it. Now, I'm just stuck. What is the best branding? Who should be the face of your business? Who is the best representative of your business? Just that, thank you. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, interesting question. And also I can put the last question in relation to what Wari said. For instance, is it good for it to name your business maybe Wari Moses Enterprises, and all people know who you are? So that is in relation to Wari's question. So over to you, Patrick. You can now answer the questions.
Thank you very much. I've really understood that there are many questions, and people have really posted very important points and questions. Unfortunately, we are left with 2 minutes. Bida, is it possible you add for us some time, or we can answer these questions tomorrow?
Yeah, we are going to request. We are requesting the participants so that I believe 15 minutes will be enough for you to address the questions.
Yeah.
So participants,
15 minutes will be enough. Yeah, please add the 15.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
over
15,
to you.
Okay, good. Okay. Just a minute.
Your mic is off. Your mic is off.
Yes. Yes, I'm back now. You guys have asked a lot of questions. Number one is, how can a person who earns $100 develop? My dear, that one is not easy. Meaning you should have another source of income. Because currently life is very expensive in Juba. So if you are getting that amount of money, meaning you should have a side hustle somewhere in order to what? To increase your level of income. Number two, what type of business can one do in order to pick up the next 1 year? I think a member posted that question. First of all, it depends on your talents. That's number one. Number two, you can also seek advice from coaches. We have financial consultants around. You can come to us. We have people who can advise what type of business you can best do. In Juba, there are very many businesses that one can do, and it can really, really pick up very well. Number one, for example, you can decide to go into food or produce business, because you know everybody eats. Every day people eat. You can go into a food or produce business, or there are some other simple kind of business that people look at them as odd jobs, but they fetch a lot of money. The bricklaying that my brother is doing is one of them. If you are doing yours very well, you can be person to fetch a lot of money. Fast food restaurant. Is one of them. And there are many others that once a person is serious, you come to our office or you come to us, we can be in person to guide you. Because your behavior determines the type of business that you can do. There are some other people, when you start the business today, the person wants to say they want to get a profit immediately. But certain businesses require discipline, but they are paying at the end of the day. You give it 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, the business can pick up. The best type of business that can bring good return is that business which has stayed between 1 to 5 years. So there are many types of businesses. I cannot decide for you which one, because at the end of the day, you should at least have in mind a type of business that you want to do. If you are unable to do it, we can give you advice, and then you decide accordingly. I hope that one is answered well. Then number two, the other point is somebody saying, what is impulse buying? You see, impulse buying is like you are coming from home, you didn't intend to buy something. You find somebody is moving around with the goods, especially these big boys hawking clothes, hawking shoes. When you are coming from home, you did not budget that you're going to buy some shoes. But you find, because they say there are already products around, you have money in your pocket, you are buying. See, that is impulse. You are pushed. You are coming from home. Today you say that you are not going to hang out with the colleagues. At the end of the day, you end up in one of the happening places. You have spent what you did not intend to spend. You see, because somebody has bought for you 2 bottles of beer for those who drink, you also want to reciprocate by buying 4 or 6. Yeah? That is it. Impulse purchase. Then, what business? So, what business can one start with? Can one start with an amount of 50,000 SSP? That one is less than $100. Like I said, you can with 50,000 SSP, you can still start up a business where you are, and you can prosper from there. I just want to tell you a secret. With this 50,000, if you can get a small kiosk from MTN, or you just go, you convince somebody who has a shop and say, please, sir, a busy place, may I sit here? I sell airtime. If you get a place where you can sell 50,000 SSP in a day, a profit of 50,000 is 3,500. If you're able to make that in a day, see, that one is good money. Because when you start with it, you can start small. As people know your place, in a day you can even sell around 100,000. 100,000, you can have a profit of what? Over 7,000. The beauty of this is that you can be in person to call your provider. You can even start with the zero amount. You can call your provider or supplier, say I have this, I'm in this place. You send me airtime, you start selling. When you sell, you remit the money back to the supplier. We have over 15 people, or even more than that, who are doing this kind of business, and they are doing well. They're even doing better than us who are supplying them. So, with the 50,000, you can be in person to start a simple business. You can even start a party business. People like taking Chicomando. You can start Chicomando with this. You can buy your flour, buy cooking oil, and they start. As long as you have a strategic place, you can be in person to start that kind of business. What can I do when my liability is more than my assets? This is dangerous. This is dangerous, which means like you're coming from negative. You're coming from negative to positive. If your liability is more than your assets, then you have to start clearing them one after the other, one after the other. The people you're owing them, first of all, you categorize this kind of liability. There are those short-term liabilities, and then there are those long-term liabilities. You start clearing the short-term liabilities. The most, at the end of the day, you must have zero liability. Though it is impossible sometimes. It is impossible that you can operate minus zero liabilities. But please, if your liability is more than your assets, if this is a business, then it has to and be jailed or you declare bankruptcy. So that at least if it is a fully registered business and you declare bankruptcy, they cannot come for you. Because by law, you declare yourself bankrupt, they cannot be imposed to come and arrest you. But if you If you are unable to declare, of course, people will think that you're okay. Then they can still what? Come for you. How can I calculate my personal net worth? Now, I believe you've been hearing of celebrities. You hear Rihanna's net worth is this. Our own Beriboyoi net worth is this. So, at our level, number one, if you have a piece of land that can be quantified in terms of finances, if you are not renting, you are staying in your own place, see that can be quantified. If you're a graduate, that one can be quantified in terms of what? In terms of finances. For example, at our level, in the government structures level, you say that here, grade 1, get this, grade 2, get this, grade 3, get this, up to what? Up to grade 16. When you multiply that in terms of money with your qualification, it's important to know that your net worth is this. However, it is really not very easy to get the exact face value. But in most cases, net worth is calculated in terms of assets. Assets like houses and plots. So that one is what it's all about. Number, still, what profitable business can I start with the 500K SSP? Okay, Nancy, I got your point. What profitable business can I start with the 500,000 K or 500,000 SSP? 500,000, that is $500,000, almost like around 900 USD. Like I said, first of all, before you start a business, you need to carry out a research. In that particular location, you need to do a feasibility study, what works in which location and what doesn't work, and where you want to be. Because 500,000, if you're going to open a shop, currently in Juba, cannot get a shop in a very strategic location of less than $100. See? So you need to go back to the drawing board, analyze your location, and even find out where you want to do the business. You go on the ground. Sometimes when you go on the ground, you sit. An idea will come out and say, hey, I need to address a gap here. So if you are within Juba or you are in one of the states, you need to move around. Particular location, you see, you identify a gap, it's filled, you can be in person. But 500K is a very good amount of money to start a business here in Juba. Somebody says you start a business in 3 months to close. 3 months is too short. At least 6 months or even 1 year. Because when you open a business today, even within these 3 months, you have not yet known other actors in the market. So it is not a very good kind of behavior, like closing a business within 3 months. Like I said, at least if it is 1 year, you would have at least now understand what works well and what does not work. You can be in person to change. Instead of even closing it completely, you can at least change to another product. But you don't close it down, because when you close it down completely, people even will not trust you. Because when you start a business here today, people will know that so and so is in this place. Then after 3 months, you've already closed. You go somewhere. Getting a new client become a bit difficult. But above all, be resilient, be consistent, and never give up. If you try that this business is not working, you try another one, you change. I am one of those who started very many kind of businesses, but I never gave up. I never gave up. I see this one is not working. I try again, but in the same place. I don't go away. You don't go to another location. If you want to change now location completely, now you have to tell your client that we are changing because of A, B, C, D, because it is good in case even you need support from lenders. Because if you are closing your business today, after 3 months again you're closed, then if you need support from somewhere, nobody will give you, because the person will have that fear that again you're going to closing down. You're going to close down. Somebody said managing the funds in and out. How do I get a good person? Yes. Here in South Sudan, we don't have a recruitment companies, but in our network, especially for us who are doing finance, we know who is good and who can sit best where. So in case you are looking for a very good finance person, we have people whom when we recommend, you can really appreciate. So you give us your detail, what you want the person actually to do, and at what capacity. I know, like you said, the business is still, the business is growing, and the person may come with the expectation. The most important thing in the business or in an organization is it making your plans and the goals known to all employees. When you make your plan and the goals very clearly and straightforward to the employees, the person will be in person to work knowing that he or she is a part and parcel of the progress of the entity. Of course, if the business is growing, what will stop you from paying the person good salary? If the business is growing very well, definitely finances is controlled effectively, which means the person handling the finances has to be paid for, receive a very good incentives so that he is not what? Business, so that he cannot be also tempted. At what stage should the business start paying the owner? At what stage should the business start paying the owner? As soon as the business start making profits, you must be important to pay yourself. Because, by the way, business is a separate legal entity. So, meaning the business and you are different people. You're working for the business. So, as soon as the business start making profits, you should be important to pay yourself money. Another question, people borrowing money, borrowing things, and they don't pay. This is very common. It's very, 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 very common in our country. If it is not even in South Sudan alone, all over. You find the person who is buying the most is the person who will come and they borrow from you and they not pay. See? But Of course, in business, those are part of the risks of what? Of business. In business, there are all those risks. However, I would rather advise that henceforth, when somebody is coming to borrow or take something from you, at least somebody should be in person to give you something that you can be in person to convert into cash when the person paid to clear you. There must be a collateral at the end of the day that should be in person to get in case the person default. Or you can even get a guarantor, somebody who can guarantee that this person will be in person to pay your money back. I think we are coming to the last question, saying branding the business. Should I be the face of the business? Who should be the face of the, or who should be the face of the business? Of course, you are the person who started the idea of the business. It's not a crime for you to be the brand ambassador of your business. See? But that doesn't mean you cannot bring somebody. If you can identify a very good person whom you see can be important to be the brand of your business or can be the face of the business, well and good. We have businesses which are doing very well and even don't know the owners. You look at somebody who is there appearing, you think that is the owner. No, that's not the owner. So you can be the brand of the business or you can get somebody. But at the initial stage, it is you who should be the brand of the business because the idea is you. You have the idea, you know why you started. So it must be the ambassador. You must be the one selling your ideas to your consumers. So at the initial stage, you should be the what? The brand or the face of the business. As the business keep on growing, you can be what? You can be at the back as the business takes off. Can I be in person to write Mori Moses Enterprises? You see, okay, this is also part of the branding, like writing your name, Mori Moses Enterprises, so that it is known that this one is so and so's business. You see, I don't advise branding with your name, but rather to brand it with something which cuts across all levels. When you look at it, most of these powerful businesses, you find they don't bear the honor of the name of the owner. But sometimes somebody give something which is what? Clear to all. For example, MTN, the owner did not put his what? His name. It becomes a brand name. We have Nomi up to now. Some people buying any other type of detergent, they call it what? Nomi. See? Okay, still you can put your name, but it cannot catch very fast. Like if you did not put your, if you use another word, another different brand. But on the business point of view, it's not advisable to put your name as the face of the business. I think I have tried to answer all your questions. I was seeing some questions in the chat box. Are banks giving loans? Are banks in this country offering business loans? And if yes, which one and what are the procedures? Currently, it's a bit tricky. Yes, there are other banks which are giving, but the procedures are many. I would rather advise if you want to get some, circles are even better. They can give if you are in one of them, in one of those circles. Otherwise, thank you very much. We have really taken a long time. But it's good for learning purposes. we are at 3:25. If there is another question that I did not answer, you can put it in the chat box. Then tomorrow we can pick from there. Ida,